Welcome to Art of Tiny Living.
I'm Brent.
And I am Mel.
So people are always curious about tiny house living or full-time RVing type of situations. One of the earlier questions we had early this summer was a question on what effects COVID had. But one of the more, I suppose, oftenly asked questions is, what are people using for cell phone service, and what are people using for their internet, and etc. Most of the day, though, we try to keep ours pretty simple. We're back to our previous carrier using Verizon. We tried one of their competitions. I won't say any names, but it's spelled Sprint. Simply enough, they sucked. But we just use our cell phones. We have unlimited hotspotting. So that helps us run some of our other devices as well as computers when we need to. And we also have a jetpack that worked kind of like a whole extra phone. It gives us most of the additional data that we kind of want to use for radio or National Weather Service information. We just keep it on to pay attention to things that might not come directly to our phone or things that we can ignore, like when Amazon delivers some crap to us. Out here at the center, Verizon can be a little sketchy. We're kind of underneath their tower, and where it does bounce down to the ground, well, it gets blocked out by trees and some of the different undulations in the land and so forth. And then, of course, if we're inside the cabin, well, the cabin's also inside the trees, and, well, it makes it even just that much more of a little bit of a trick. But it does seem to work a lot better than their competition, who guaranteed us that it would work no matter where we were. Well, we had their service up here, and it was trash. And we took it with us on our way down to New Mexico last year. And even in hot spots where Sprint was supposed to be super, super great, we still had spotty coverage at best. So yeah, during our stay in New Mexico last winter, we switched back to our old company, and, well, it may not always be the best and greatest thing out there, but it does work pretty well for us, and we try to keep it rather simple. So here's a little different perspective for you. I know a lot of people are into some of the new, more modernized RV web services. I hear kind of questionable things about whether or not Dish Network and using their system works, and some of the other web source things. Now that they've gotten enough people interested in it, the price seems to be escalating rapidly. Yeah, once in a while we get into problems with our data caps, but it depends on the user themselves and how much video we're taking and trying to upload. So if we have to ever conserve on video, we'll probably only shorten it off to like 2 or 3 minutes apiece.
Well, yesterday it took me, 24 hours to upload a 12-minute video. Well, that didn't help because last night I forgot to plug in the jetpack in my phone, so both went off.
They were dead. It doesn't do much when you're dead. But yeah, Verizon works really, well enough for us. We do try to do things that are all within our budget and we can do the best things with. Economic understanding is always a priority when we make a decision on something.
Here's a view of the fire pit and the fall color starting. But back to what we were talking about. There's probably better services, but we're going to have to pay more for.
It all gets better as we get closer to civilization, which is exactly the opposite of what we're trying to do. So we either have to hang out with people that want to be our neighbors or have crappy phone service.
It's the problem with not liking to have neighbors and like to have your privacy is you sacrifice signals and all the other goodies.
Well, it doesn't hurt when you're in the woods too. If you're RVing a lot and or boondocking out in the middle of nowhere, you can put yourself into a situation where you have sketchy service, and you may want to make sure, even for emergency purposes, that at least your 911's dialing out. Even though they say 911 will dial out all the time, if you don't have even a hint of signal, you can't get through to 911. So, at least in some cases, may not be true everywhere, but there have been people who reported that they've been out in the middle of nowhere and they can't get 911 service. So, just something to keep in mind. Trying to stay safe, trying to stay away from the insanity sometimes. But it's nearly autumn here in Minnesota. The leaves are changing early. Probably not necessarily a good indicator of what winter is going to bring. The suspect is that we're entering a La Nina phase, and well, it's going to be snowy and cold and miserable, but as far as I'm concerned, it's always snowy and cold and miserable. Anytime once you get past the really Thanksgiving all the way through spring, even later.
Well, even this year, if you notice, we're not getting all the colors we usually do. Some of the leaves, like right in this area, have already fallen without even getting colors.
Yeah, we've had a couple of nights of frost already. They say we could see another one tonight with a low of right around 30. We'll see if it gets down that far. We had clouds earlier. The sky's kind of cleared, and there's kind of a little bit of a rainbow, sherbet blues and pinks and light purples in the back side of the horizon. So there's still a little bit of smoke in the air from our poor friends out west who are experiencing fires everywhere. Stay safe, people, and get out if you need to beforehand.
And there's Ann swinging.
Hi, Ann. Yeah, she's got headphones on. She can't hear. She's in her spot. We'll have to build her a swing when we move, so she has something to amuse herself. The girl could swing all day long. So if you know that you're selling any good used physical ed or recreational equipment in New Mexico, let me know, because I'd really like to have one of those big metal old playground swings. Still looking for a beer sponsor too, by the way. So if you work for a company, let me know. This week is again Anheuser-Busch sponsored, and philosophy only.
Well, we'd like to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe. Look for us on your favorite piece of social media, whichever one that might be. And we will see you again real soon. Bye now.